Center in downtown Houston, PV51 presents Houston Rockets basketball. Tonight, the Rockets taking on the New Orleans, Oklahoma City Hornets. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Worrell. Good to have you with us as the Rockets play their second regular season game. The good news was they won the first game of the season, and Tracy McGrady had 23 points. The bad news is Tracy McGrady will not play tonight, and we don't know his status for the next 3 or 4 games. It's up in the air. He is kind of day-to-day, as all of us are, but he's probably a little more precarious than even you are, Clyde Drexler.
I agree, Bill.
Of course, the tough situation is, how do you play without your superstar? How much adjustment will the Rockets have to make?
There are many, many adjustments because everyone is not quite as polished without Tracy McGrady in the lineup. You see what he brings to this team night in and night out. The ability to pull up and raise on anyone and put up a nice jump shot. Here he is off the dribble again, steps back and knocks down a nice three-pointer. He's capable of doing that in the half-court set or in transition. As you see here, he can throw down the monster jam.
Well, fortunately, the Rockets were without McGrady in the preseason, so they moved Derek Anderson over to that slot, and he played very well. So this won't be the first time for D.A. Now,
this is a good opportunity for Derek to step in and get accustomed and get very comfortable with the offensive sets tonight without T-Mac in the lineup.
Now you better get on your horse because they have a young backcourt, Chris Paul and Speedy Claxton, and they can fly.
Both can fly. Very young. Can put up big numbers. As you can see, they're both averaging 30-plus minutes, 23 for Speedy Claxton. They're both capable of putting up big numbers in a short period of time. They can penetrate, get to the basket, make things happen for the teammates, and they love to run the basketball, Bill.
Time for the Toyota Power Team keys to the game, Clyde.
You got to play a full 48 minutes of good basketball. Even without T-Mac in the lineup, this team is capable of playing very solidly. We got to make our free throws tonight, Bill. That's one of the keys to this game.
Yeah.
Dismal in game 1, although we won the game. Got to do better in game 2. And the key the real key is to stop the guard penetration. Because if those guards get a chance to penetrate and make their teammates better, it's going to be a long night for the Houston Rockets.
The reason the Rockets were so confident going into this season is they were deep. They made a lot of additions in the offseason. Well, now without Tracy McGrady, they'll have to go deep into that bench, and we'll see how they react. Coming up next on TV 51. Again, everybody, and welcome back to the Toyota Center downtown Houston for NBA basketball. The Rockets at 1-0 going against the Hornets at 1-1. And let's check out tonight's Southwest Airlines starting lineups. And first, for the New Orleans, Oklahoma City Hornets. Boki Nakbar will be at 1 forward. David West, who came off a big 15-rebound performance in Game 1. P.J. Brown has been moved over to the center position. Chris Paul, the 4th player taken in the first round, and J.R. Smith, last year's first-round draft choice for the Hornets. For the Houston Rockets, a makeshift lineup tonight, but a good one. Juwan Howard, Derek Anderson will move from the 2-guard to the small forward position in place of Tracy McGrady. Yao Ming at center, David Wesley, and Rafer Alston in the backcourt for Jeff Van Gundy. We'll be back with the tip-off in just a moment on TV 51. We are just moments away from the tip-off of tonight's NBA game at the Toyota Center in downtown Houston. Let's go to Patty Smith, courtside.
Well, thank you, Bill. You mentioned in the starting lineups that Derek Anderson would be filling in for Tracy McGrady at the 3. Now, Jeff Van Gundy experimented a lot with this in the preseason, and I had a chance to catch up with Derek a little bit earlier today, and he told me that he's very happy there. It's where he's most comfortable. He likes to have the ball in his hands. He likes to be able to control the pace of the game. He'll be looking to penetrate a lot, and he said this team will get the ball in the hands of Yao Ming. He must be the focus of this offense. Guys?
Okay, thank you so much, Patty. And I think you see the importance of Carroll Dawson in the offseason going out and getting a player like a Derek Anderson who is 6'5" and has the ability to swing from the 2 to the 3. You just never know, Clyde, when you're going to need that type of a player, and it's a good thing that he's on the Rockets roster this year.
Oh, great acquisition. Derek Anderson is a proven veteran in this league. He can put up big numbers if given the opportunity. And certainly tonight we could use those type of numbers.
Well, Byron Scott had a tough year last year with all of the injuries to that New Orleans team, but he is a good basketball coach. 14 years in the NBA, played on those Showtime teams with Magic Johnson, won 3 NBA championships, and he went to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2002 and 2003 with the New Jersey Nets. So he's a good
proven
coach.
winner.
Yes, he is.
Took the Nets to the NBA championship 2 years in a row. How do you lose your job in the 3rd year? I'll never figure that one out.
Oh, well, that's what all of these coaches know about. You see Jeff Van Gundy, he's been there before. There's a lot of pressure on these NBA coaches to win, and win now. Rockets have won 10 of the last 14 games against the Hornets. That includes 6 of the last 7. But the Rockets better remember the last regular season meeting between these two. You remember that? The Rockets had an 18-point lead late in the 3rd quarter. The Hornets came back to put a devastating defeat on the Rockets, 76-73, and the Rockets were right in the hunt in that playoff chase, trying to move up the order, and that set them back a little bit.
Set them back, and can't let that happen tonight. Even without Tracy McGrady in the lineup, the Rockets had an opportunity to execute in the half-court set, and other guys have got to step it up.
Well, they tried to take advantage of Nakbar. He's a little bigger than Derek Anderson. They posted him up right in a hurry. That did not work. Now P.J. Brown will try to stay with Yao Ming. The Shanghai Shake for 2.
Devastating.
Well, if he's hitting that, Clyde, there's just so many things open to him.
There's no stopping Yao Ming.
J.R. Smith, who never saw a shot he didn't like, and he's making a lot of them to start this season. He is a terrific-looking young player.
Such a tremendous athlete at the two-guard. He's 6'6", 6'7", big. He's got good height, great jumping ability. One of the more promising two-guards in the NBA.
Yeah, J.R. was the #1 draft choice of the Hornets last year. Shot clock down to 5 seconds, down to 4, down to 3. Derek Anderson off the back of the iron. Now they love to run, and Chris Paul can push it with the best. Chris Paul will look a little bit, and there it is. P.J. Ford, does that name ring a bell to you? Because this kid can push it just as fast as T.J. He was the 4th player taken in the 1st round out of Wake Forest.
Here he is with a little quick move, going straight to his right, looks him off and puts it up. The thing about Chris Paul is that he can finish going to the basket.
Yeah.
That makes him even more devastating.
He's a terrific player with Wake Forest and led him to the Sweet 16 his senior year. On the baseline, Derek Anderson. So he took Bokey right to the basket.
That's what you have to do. He has the speed advantage. He's a lot quicker than Nakbar. Take him off the dribble right to the basket and get you some easy points. Get to the line and try to convert to free throws in today's game.
Derek Anderson in his 9th season in the NBA came over from Portland. They released him, didn't they, Clyde? Because they had that amnesty deal and released him because they didn't want to pay that salary. Rockets were glad to have him.
Very, very lucky to get him.
Yeah.
Portland figured they'd be rebuilding anyway, and a guy like Derek would get lost in the shuffle. Probably better for both parties.
Yeah, I think so too. And of course he took a little less money to come here because of the salary cap restrictions, but the Rockets were glad to have him. In fact, they'd been after him for a couple of years. Bokey Nakbar from the wing had a terrific preseason. He can shoot lights out, and you may have heard the crowd behind us. He's got some fans here tonight.
Got some fans in the Toyota Center.
Down into Yao Ming, could not handle the pass. P.J. Brown. Jamal McGlure was traded about midway through the preseason. Look at the give and go of Chris Paul. See how quick he is.
Look at the little hesitation move. That is just picture-perfect basketball.
There were a lot of good point guards in that draft this year. Oh, nice pass by Rafer Alston. Sets up D.A. Ball tipped up in the air. Rafer tips it over to Anderson. Keeps it alive. Fresh 24. Juwan Howard says, I don't need that much time.
Oh, yeah. Juwan Howard knocks down his first jumper. That's a little bit different from the last game.
That's his first jumper of the season. He went 0 for 9 in the first game.
He had about 8 offensive rebounds, so he was basically putting them up and getting them back.
David West goes to the basket for 2. Here's a much improved player, David West, out of Xavier. And here's a young man who is in his 3rd NBA campaign. That's usually when you can tell about a player. And the ball turned over by the Rockets. Chris Paul will set it up now. Bokey. Down low, posting up West. Didn't get a lot of plays run for him last year, and there you see a young man who can go with both his right and his left hands. This is a dangerous young team because they don't know they're supposed to lose.
I tell you what, David West, when he came out of college, was a tremendous player. He was Player of the Year in college basketball in 2 out of 5 polls. And the guy that won the other 3 was a guy by the name of T.J. Ford.
And there's J.R. Smith taking off to the other end. An 11-2 run by the Hornets. And you see how much faster they are than Houston. Now, this is going to be a problem for Jeff Van Gundy. How do you counter their speed? The Hornets have more veterans, but right now the Hornets are getting it done. And we'll take a break. 8:14 left in the first period, and it's 15-6 Hornets. All right, so Clyde, what are the Rockets going to do? They can't backpedal that fast.
Bill, they got to stop the guard penetration. When the guards penetrate because they're super quick, the big guys have got to get into their lap, into the paint, and stop the penetration. Make them kick it out.
Well, that's what the Rockets are going to have to do because they are really closing down on Yao Ming. There's a steal by Rafer Alston, and took it with a reversal to the basket. Rafer Alston's got the speed. He's a veteran, but he has got the speed. But this Chris Paul is so fast, he's a blur. I mean, he really is one of the new breeds now around the NBA. And West wins it out, and Yao almost tipped it in. Over to Rafer now. The Rockets want to try a fast break of their own. And that's Wesley's fast break. Pull up to the 20-footer. Knocked out of bounds by Chris Paul. You know, you see so much speed around the league now. Earl Boykins in Denver. The small guard is coming back.
They're coming back. They're making a comeback.
Because they can fly with the new rules now.
And they can use all of that to create and make their teammates better because they can create opportunities off the dribble.
Not a lot of ball movement for the Rockets in their offense.
Seem to come out a little lethargic, and that happens quite often when your best player is not in the game.
Akbar on the drive. Nice pass off to PJ, and he hands the 6-footer. Well, the Hornets are shooting 80%, 8 of 10 from the field here in the first 5 minutes. Derek Anderson with a miss. The Rockets, on the other hand, are only 3 for 10. And a 13-4 run, make it a 15-4 run by the Hornets. 19-8. The Hornets with their biggest lead of the game, 11 points.
I'll tell you what, they're coming out with no fear, Bill. They know T-Mac is not in the lineup, and great opportunity for a good young team.
Good strong move by Yao Ming. And he will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. This is something we thought would be a strength of the Rockets this season and will still end up being that way. And that's free throw shooting. In the preseason, the Rockets averaged over 80% of free throws, but only 68% after game 1.
A strong move to the basket by Yao. Good foul. we have to get the ball inside to Yao in this game. You don't have the outside presence of Tracy McGrady to take over. He's going to be the focal point.
T-Mac averaged just under 20 points a game during his career against the Hornets. So you take that 20 points out, and somebody, different players, are going to have to make up the difference. J.R. Smith. Moki Nakbar. And look at P.J. Brown. He's been doing it. This is his 13th year in the NBA, one of the better rebounders in league history.
He's just very solid night in and night out.
He's from Louisiana, so he has returned home, signed a new big contract. There's David West with another offensive rebound. A real weakness of the Rockets, rebounding, and a whistle. And they want to reset the shot clock. It's something Jeff Van Gundy knew would be a weakness of his team going in this year because They do not get on the glass. And when you're hitting your shots, it's okay. When you're not,
it's a problem.
Yeah.
And with these young live bodies that the Hornets have, it could be interesting going down the stretch.
Howard comes out. Good pickup. Double team. Now West with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Takes it inside. Yao covers him up. Good defense by Houston. Anderson knocks it out of bounds. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Rockets, terrific defensive team, and will be in the top 3 when the season's over.
Consistently, they take away your first option. They make you go to option 2 and 3.
Chris Paul had to force one up and missed it badly. Rockets shooting only 30% here to start the game. Down to Yao Ming. So far, they're not coming with any help. Yao turns on P.J. Brown, shoots over, misses. Rebound, Juwan Howard gets on the boards. A fresh 24 for Houston. Rafer uses about 3 of that 24. Rafer Alston with 5 points to lead the Rockets. Back to a 6-point game. Derek Anderson saves it to Juwan Howard. Giving it up on the wing, Rafer Alston. Rafer back to Juwan. He's fouled going to the basket. And the Rockets with a little fast break of their own.
I just love the way Rafer Alston runs the break. He's always looking to make that extra pass. And he is so quick, Bill. There he is with the ball. Ideally, you get the ball to the middle of the court and you keep it in the middle. Here you see Juwan giving it to the point guard, which is a great decision, and getting it back to be rewarded. Now he's on the line.
Rockets, after one game, averaging 98 points a game, giving up 89 points. The Hornets, after 2 games, averaging 90 points a game, giving up only 88. So Yao Ming now will take a quick breather with 4:51 left in the quarter. And Dikembe Mutombo will get in a little earlier than he did in game 1. Jeff Van Gundy admitted after the game he probably waited too long to put Deke in.
Deke was fired up. You could tell he was ready to go.
That's why I love Jeff Van Gundy. If he makes a mistake or thinks he made one, he'll tell you so.
That's one of the more pleasing aspects of a coach, of the coach's personality.
Down to 7 on the shot clock, down to 6. Bulky knock bar, covered up by Dikembe, and a foul. So the foul was on Derek Anderson. That's the second team foul on the Rockets, 3 team fouls on the Hornets. 7-0 run now by Houston. That countered a 12-4 run by the Hornets. Speedy Claxton in the game. They don't miss a step when he checks in. Speedy with the miss.
He is just what his name indicates.
Yeah,
it's fast.
Chris Anderson's in the game too, and he is a terrific rebounder and shot blocker.
The Birdman, as he's so affectionately called.
Yep. Juwan Howard short on the shot. Chris Paul playing in the same backcourt with Claxton. A little hesitation. West in the corner now, takes it down low to the Birdman. Birdman has nowhere to fly.
Chris Anderson from Iola, Texas, Bill.
Yep.
Wonderful young man. When I was coaching at the University of Houston, I signed him as a recruit. Of course, he never got to play for me, but would have been an interesting time coaching Chris Anderson.
Yeah, he went to junior college for 1 year and then ended up in China.
Right, went to Blinn Junior College and went to China and was the first player picked from that dispersal draft.
And a loose ball foul is called on Mutombo, and that stops a fast break by Houston. Pretty good flop there by Anderson, don't you think?
He's learned a lot. He's he's a seasoned veteran now in his 5th year in the NBA.
I just want to see how much he was bumped. Oh yeah, that's pretty good flop there. David West outside. Chris Paul will put up the jumper. That's where you want that kid shooting from, over the top. Make him shoot that jumper. Don't let him penetrate. Oh, good guess by Paul. Rafer went behind the back. Paul was waiting on him, and a speedy Claxton layup at the other end.
Well, this team is very fast. They get the ball up and down the court in the blink of an eye.
Yep, and that's what Byron Scott loves to do. The old Showtime teams did it, that he played on with Magic and Kareem.
Byron's a very good coach. He coaches to the level of talent that he has.
Yeah, last year he had none.
None.
Hey, have you ever noticed when you're a coach, you're smarter when you have better players?
That always happens. How does that happen?
When he had Jason Kidd, he was a good coach.
Kenyon Martin, he was a very good coach. Going to the NBA Finals, and he looked good. His suits looked better. He smiled a lot more. You saw none of that last year. But he's a confidence type of coach, and he'll get this team on a good road to success in no time at all.
Good shot by Juwan Howard as he puts it up and in. Howard now with 6 points. This Paul sets up Claxton. Claxton will shoot a 3. Short. Paul follows it up. And a fresh 24 for the Hornets. 2:38 and counting left to play in the first period. Rockets down by 4, trailing by as many as 11 a moment ago. Claxton creates contact. This is, again, what you talked about before the game. You were worried about those guards getting penetration, and they're getting it over and over again. Timeout charge to Houston. 2.5 minutes left in the first period. 21-17, New Orleans, Oklahoma City leading Houston. Let's take a look at tonight's McDonald's League leaders. And there you see Dikembe Mutombo and active career leaders in minutes played. Standing ovation right now in the house. They just announced Rudy T is here. And Clutch the Bears over there giving him a big hug.
Rudy looks good, Bill. Looks good. He's doing a little scouting for the Los Angeles Lakers.
There's Rudy down at the end.
A Houston legend.
Now we're going to see quite a bit of him talking to him before the game. He's scouting the league a lot for the Lakers. They felt like they needed to improve, and of course that's how Rudy got his start after he retired, and he became a scout for the Rockets. And he used to have his daughter Nicole taping games at home. He would be taping them, we didn't have all of the devices we have now, all the satellites. So he had his family taping them. He said after about 2 years, Nicole knew more about the league than most of the coaches did.
I believe that. I've had the opportunity to talk basketball with Nicole through the years, and she knows a lot.
Yeah. Derek Anderson with a good second effort by Juwan Howard, and it's 23-19 Hornets. Desmond Mason has checked into the game now, and Anderson again, the leaky defense down inside, and Anderson gets an easy slam. That's about the third time they've got an easy backdoor play by the big man. There's Rafer getting wide open, and he buries it.
The Rockets are a little bit too relaxed in the middle of their defense. The interior of their defense has got to be a little bit stronger, more cohesive.
Desmond Mason, he misses. Juwan Howard with a rebound.
He has one of the more unusual jump shots you'll see in the league.
David Wesley with a layup for the basket. And David gets the Rockets within 2 points of the Hornets. Desmond Mason has only been with the Hornets for about 2.5 weeks. He was part of that Jamal McGlure trade. And McGlure going to Milwaukee, and Mason coming to the Hornets. The Milwaukee club looks loaded.
They're loaded, but getting rid of a Desmond Mason really hurts any club. He was their leading scorer last year, played more minutes than anyone else, and a very solid competitor.
McGlure is a center, though, Clyde, and was in the All-Star game a couple of years ago.
And they're hard to find, Bill.
Offensive foul called on Mutombo. So we'll see Stromile Swift and John Barry enter the game now for the Rockets.
John Barry had 24 points in the Rockets home opener. We'd love to have another effort like that from him tonight in the absence of Tracy McGrady.
Yeah. Well, Juwan Howard goes out. He had 6 points. He had a good early part of the game. And there's almost a turnover. Anderson comes out to pick it up. 11 on the shot clock. Chris Paul floats it up, and it was on the rim when Anderson touched the rim, so that'll be offensive goaltending. Hornets. Birdman perched on that rim there for a second.
He has so much jumping ability. Quite often he'll get carried away, Bill. As you can see, he's way up over the rim, over everyone. At 6'10", he has tremendous leg strength and can jump like a kangaroo.
Yeah, he never saw that movie, White Men Can't Jump.
No. He's been in a couple of All-Star Game dunk contests.
Yeah.
And does very well.
Yeah, he can fly. And he comes out on the pick and roll. Wesley with a three-pointer, missed it. Stromile Swift almost got the ball back at the end of the quarter. So the Hornets got off to a terrific start and had an 11-point lead. The Rockets have been battling back. And after the first 12 minutes, it's the Hornets 27, the Rockets 23 on TV 51.
27-23, Hornets over the Rockets. And I had to come over here and catch up with Rudy Tomjanovich. Rudy, what a nice standing ovation for you. All for kissing a bear?
That was pretty good. The kiss from the bear was really special.
Honestly, though, that really has to still be special. I mean, it just sort of sends a chill down my spine to see them stand up and cheer you on like that.
It's awesome. This is the first time I've been in this building to watch a game, and I was anxious about it. I'm so happy. First of all, I'm so grateful for the fans, and we all shared some great moments together, but I'm so glad the first time's over, because I'm going to be here a lot. Yeah, I'm scouting for the Lakers, and I got a good seat right here, and this is going to be like a home away from home.
Well, tell us how you're scouting for the Lakers. You were telling me a little bit earlier you're pretty much focused here in Texas as much as possible.
Yeah, most of the games I watch will be in Texas. Most of them will be here, but we also have San Antonio down the road and Dallas. The Eastern teams don't come in here, so I will make a couple trips.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you back. We'll be seeing a lot of you.
Be back.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Patty. And, of course, Rudy T belongs in this building.
Oh, he's a Houston legend, Bill. He helped make it what it is.
Yeah, he does. And I know you enjoyed playing for him, Clyde. You won your first championship. Rudy's second in '95. That was quite an experience.
Consummate players, coach. If you can play, you love Rudy Tomjanovich.
Yeah. Well, probably, you guys had a lot of veterans.
A lot of veterans, had just a good chemistry team.
Yeah.
Knowledgeable veterans, and he was a perfect coach.
Speedy Claxton with a fall away. Good defense by Houston. And Stromile Swift now may be just the ticket for the Rockets. He's come in and made some things happen, hasn't he?
He's the guy who's quick enough and active enough on the boards to kind of counteract some of this quickness by the New Orleans Hornets.
Alston takes it right down to Stromile. 8 on the shot clock. He's working on Anderson now. Turns to the middle, lays it up, got past him and missed it. And the ball is loose. And coming out of there is Speedy Claxton. Claxton's got Mason on the wing. Instead goes to the other side. Luther Head seeing his first action in the regular season. That's another good pick, I think, by Jeff, because he's a rookie who can play with the young guys for the Hornets.
Exactly.
5 on the shot clock. Mason with that awkward shot you were talking.
Very awkward, but it's very efficient. He looks good when it goes in.
Yeah. And, of course, he started Oklahoma State for 3 seasons. And they're playing in Oklahoma City now, so they know all about him there.
Oh, he's probably a fan favorite.
Yes, he is. John Barry coming off his 24-point performance. 5 on the shot clock. Barry picks out Luther Head, and Luther with a miss. Anderson with a rebound. 29-24, 5-point Hornet lead. Azul Butler. He's a veteran off that Miami team. They broke that team up last year. Claxton has plenty of time to read the label and hits the 3.
He was wide open. I think it's an effort on the Rockets' part to try to pack the paint to counteract the penetration.
Well, the Rockets' defense is not what we've seen in the past. They've given up 56%. It's good shooting, granted, by the Hornets, but they're getting some wide-open looks. And Jeff Van Gundy wants to talk about it. Hornets up by 8. Hornets leading it by 8. Jackson Bowman has checked into the game now. Bowman comes out on the double team on Luther Head, going down to Yao Ming, who just checked into the game also. Bowman's at 6'10". That ball knocked away by Clarkson. 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
The Hornets are so quick. I think they shocked Yao Ming on the double team.
Yeah,
he didn't even see him coming.
Anderson, and there's a quick steal by Speedy Claxton. Speedy going to Mason. Mason couldn't quite get to it. Inside to Mason again, and this time he does. They're just too quick for Houston. Jeff Van Gundy's got to call a 20-second timeout, but it is so obvious the difference in speed of these two teams. And if the Rockets don't find some way to solve the speed difference, it's going to be a tough uphill climb.
It'll be a long night.
Yeah.
This team is very athletic, they're active, and it seems like they're very eager to play tonight. They came to play.
You see Jeff is very angry, but, you know, with a team, Stromile Swift can run with him, and Luther Head can run with him, but most of the team are veterans.
Look how quick they get the ball down the court and convert it.
Yeah, that missed, but they come right back underneath. Nobody picked up Mason.
He stayed there the whole time. He gave Luther Head a head fake like he was going one way and reversed his pivot and was right there for the layup. Rookie mistake. You turn your head.
Boy, you get burned in this league if you turn your head.
Luther will rebound. He's pretty intelligent.
Barry takes it right down to Yao Ming. Inside the 15-foot line, and Butler with the rebound. So the Hornets now on a 7-1 run to start the quarter. Mason takes it inside. He travels. It's only the 4th turnover by the Hornets. The Rockets have 5. So it'll be Swift, Head, Anderson back into the game, along with Barry and Yao. P.J. Brown will be on Yao Ming. Butler is matched up with Derek Anderson. That's going to be defensive violation on the Hornets, and John Barry will shoot the free throw. So Razul Butler will go over to talk right now with Byron Scott, doing a little teaching.
Byron Scott is an excellent teacher of the game. He has tremendous patience with these young players, and he loves it. He really enjoys it. That's what makes him one of the better coaches in the league.
I felt for him last year, Clyde, because what little talent he had, they were injured. McGlure missed most all of the second half of the season. There's a whistle. And a foul on Butler.
Literally, he was thrown into the eye of the storm last season, Bill.
Yeah.
That team was terrible.
No. Certainly was. And Byron says, I've been there before, and I'll get this team back, and he has. Stromile Swift. And John Barry moved back to the middle. D.A. saw him and actually threw it to the referee. I think he may have seen the referee out of the corner of his eye. That's the 6th turnover by the Rockets.
I've made a couple passes to the referees, Bill. It's not a good feeling.
Well, they can't shoot, number one. Butler puts it up and in.
And they usually don't catch it.
Yep, they'll get out of the way.
They just kind of look at you like, what? What do you want me to do?
Stromile Swift from the top of the key. Somebody needs to get hot for Houston. Swift has come in and scored 3 points in his 5 minutes. 36-27. Weston draws the foul from Luther Head.
Good defensive effort on the part of Luther Head. But when you make that big swipe at the ball, a veteran is just going to flop, and it's going to be some kind of contact, and he'll be at the line.
And there's the crossover by Speedy. Claxton's a veteran. This is his 5th NBA campaign. He's already been with a couple of teams, but he was a good guy to have and came right in. Played at Philadelphia for a couple of seasons. Played at San Antonio, had a couple of good years there with the Spurs, and then Golden State and New Orleans last year.
He's had an opportunity to learn and sit and watch some very good players while at Philly, San Antonio, and Golden State.
John Barry giving it up to Swift, and it's knocked out of bounds. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Again, they seem to be having trouble getting the ball to Yao Ming.
They look a little out of sync to me tonight, Bill. They're not as smooth without Tracy McGrady in the line.
Well, he controls the ball so much of the time. Derek Anderson with a miss. Long rebound. Yao runs it down. Fresh 24 for Houston. Now there's Yao, posted up. Turns and fires over Bryant. They can get that all day if they hurry and get it to him. Yao with 6. Juwan Howard with 6. Rafer Alston with 7. And a whistle and a foul on Luther Hill. That's the second foul on Luther and the second team foul on the Rockets. The Hornets have 2.
Here he is, Speedy Claxton put the look away and a nice move to the basket. With the new rules, you can't make any contact with the dribbler, so that's an automatic violation.
Clyde, would you step back and give him an extra step? Make him shoot the jumper?
Absolutely. Prove that he can make that jumper.
Just like that. And Brown said, in your face, Yao Ming. PJ made it.
A contested jump shot.
Yeah. PJ's improved his range over the years. And Luther Head with a miss. Strohmeyer Swift gets it back. John with a nice little head fake. One extra pass. Strohmeyer inside. Strohmeyer for 2. Good pass by John Barrett.
Great pass. Very unselfish basketball by John Barrett. And we know he wanted to shoot that.
Yeah. Consummate team player, though. You love having him. And there's a turnover. J.R. Smith couldn't find the handle. Chris Paul and Boki Nakbar will check back into the game for the Hornets. And Claxton will get a breather. But you know, with that, the threesome of J.R. Smith, Claxton, and Chris Paul, he can always have 2 speedy guards on the floor.
Always. They are a force to be reckoned with.
Barry throws it up and draws a foul.
That was an interesting drive to the basket by John Barry. This is when you throw it up because you know you've gotten the foul and you throw it up and hope and pray that it goes in.
Well, he may not be the quickest out there, but those veterans know how to get an extra step, and he got an extra step on the speediest guy on the court, J.R. Jackson Broman picked up the foul, and John Barry will get one more free throw.
John knows how to draw the foul and get to the line, Bill. Very good at that. You have to go into the contact once again.
John Barry in his 14th NBA season gets the Rockets within 7. Gundy trying to tell Luther it's going to be the pick and roll. Get out there. 8 seconds on the shot clock. J.R. Smith takes it baseline with a good move. And P.J. went for the slam. There's a late whistle. And a foul is called on Yao Ming. Now saying, who, me?
There it is. Strong move by J.R. Smith. PJ's up so quick and so high. That's a good foul by Yao. Make him earn it at the charity stripe, Bill. Don't give him the easy putback.
The officials for tonight's game, Tom Washington, Mark Davis, and Zach Zarba. Zarba, Davis, and Washington, the officials for tonight's game. As P.J. Brown will shoot Boy, this is a good bag.
Sounds like a law firm.
Yes, it does. Even though they got some raises, they won't make that much. PJ from Slidell, Louisiana. Unfortunately, Hurricane Katrina left him homeless. Did a lot of destruction to his house in Slidell, and then some vandals came in after that and finished him off.
Not a good day.
No, it's been a tough year for everybody, of course. Katrina didn't spare anybody. John Barry off the glass, rimmed it out, and over the back, P.J. Brown. So we'll take a break. 5:54 left to play in the first half. The Hornets have been in charge all the way. Hornets with the lead with 5:54 left to play in the second quarter.
I know someone that has some pretty good seats that we can talk to.
Well, please help me out. I have no pull whatsoever.
He's sitting right across from us.
Oh, the owner. No wonder.
Les Alexander.
Romile Swift puts it, well, you know, you hobnob with the owner, and I have to hobnob with Joel Blaine.
Oh, you poor guy.
I mean,
he's only been here 25, 30 years. Come on.
See, fans, that's the way it works. The Hall of Famer gets to hobnob with the owner.
I tell you, you poor guy, Bill.
Every now and then I can stick my head in Tad Brown's office.
Whenever I need anything, the first guy I call is Bill Worrell. Yeah. I remember when I needed Astros tickets. Who do I call?
Yeah, sure. Romile Swift up and in.
Van Chancellor did the same thing.
Van Chancellor, boy, is he a piece of work.
He is a great guy.
Has he ever paid for a ticket in Houston?
I don't think he ever will.
He's got those alligator arms. 41-35, Hornets. Nice passing inside, but Yao came over and covered it up. Yao blocks it. And a loose ball foul called on the Hornets. It all started with Yao Ming. Well, when you dribble into his web, you're in trouble.
Here's David West. You got to realize Yao has something that you cannot teach, and that's height. He's 7'6". He barely jumps. Look at this. Get it out of here. His hand is going down the whole time.
You can't shoot it over the great wall of Yao. Huh?
Not in this house.
Boy, when you pull up your dribble underneath the basket with him standing there,
pass it.
Death foul. So that's the 15th foul on the Hornets, which means Derek Anderson will shoot. The Rockets still have a foul to give with 5:27 left to play, and Chris Anderson will check back into the game. So for the Rockets, it'll be Anderson, Luther Head, Stromile Swift, Yao Ming, and John Barry. That combination is working pretty well now. The Rockets are on an 8-1 run. Chris Paul will be in the backcourt with J.R. Smith, Vokey, Anderson, and P.J. Brown.
I tell you, Bill, I really like this rookie, Chris Paul. He has a feel for the game here. That's hard to find.
He's a pure point guard.
Let's see it.
Down the baseline, and Anderson with a goaltend. Luther Head did a smart thing, then he got that shot up in a hurry.
Here he is driving straight baseline. No one cuts him off.
Ooh, that looked pretty good.
Ooh, that was close. I think we got the nod on that one, but Chris Anderson is a very formidable shot blocker.
Well, the Rockets now with a 10-1 run to get back into the game. 11 on the shot clock, 4:51 left to play in the quarter. J.R. Smith to Vokey. Vokey, 3 seconds left, got open at the right elbow.
I think this could be the coming out season for Nagbar. This is his opportunity to make good. He's bounced around a little bit. He was here with the Rockets. A couple other teams bouncing around, and he seems to have found a home in New Orleans.
Well, they've got a lot of confidence in him. Yao goes inside. Anderson may have deflected that. And Chris Paul gets the ball up the court in a hurry over to Nagbar. Nagbar short. And look at the long arm of Swift. B.A. to John Barry. J.B. misses on the three, and Anderson gets it back out to J.R. Smith.
If we can hit a run here, Bill, and knock down some of these open shots, I think that would be a little bit different ball game. We just haven't been able to get it to go down.
Rockets shooting 39% from the field. 4 seconds down to 3 on the shot clock. And PJ is automatic from that spot. 9 points for PJ Bryant.
It's like a young man tonight.
Yep.
He's in his 13th season. He's looking kind of spry and just fresh.
Yao with a great spin move. Puts it up and in. Count the basket. And he'll get a free throw. Oh, what a nifty spin move.
Wonderful move by Yao Ming off the post feed. Chris Anderson was there for a second, and let's see what happened. Oh, got wiped out with the left hand of Yao.
There has never been a player 7'6" who has been this serious a player. I mean, 7'6". Think about it now.
That's a big guy.
He's never going to be quick, but he's pretty agile, and he's getting better. And Yao right now with 9 points, 4 rebounds.
And that's what makes him so special. He does things like spinning, going to the basket, but it's hard to find a 7-footer who can do that, let alone a guy 7'6".
You had some novelty acts, like Urazon, remember?
Jorge Urazon, yeah, 7'8".
Yeah, about 7'7". Manute Bol was a 3-point shooter. Nice pass to Yao Ming. John Barry with a great pass. And the Rockets have climbed within 1. Under 3 minutes left to play, and the Hornets want a timeout to talk it over. So Yao Ming is getting open, and John Barry's doing a good job of finding it. And the Rockets have climbed back within 1 point. The Rockets are on a 15-5 run and seem to have discovered Yao Ming.
Finally. Get Yao the ball. We should at least give him 20-25 shots tonight, especially in the absence of Tracy McGrady.
Now, Clyde, we hear that so much. Why do the Rockets go for periods of time without him seeing the ball?
I'm sure Coach Van Gundy would love to see him get 25, 30 shots a night. But sometimes the other players get the notion that, you know what, I was open, Coach. I can make that shot.
When you played with Akeem, you tried to keep him happy. You got to keep the big guy happy, don't you?
Because they can make it happen on both ends of the court. So you keep those guys happy.
Right now, there are more grins going on the Houston side. They got to keep playing that good defense. P.J. Brown will shoot it, and he hadn't missed. Boy, P.J. looks really good. This is as good as I've seen him look in years.
Especially offensively. He's always been a stellar defensive player. Offensively, he's putting up some numbers.
Luther Head's done a good job of counteracting some of that speed. That was hit by Chris Paul, so they can get to the backcourt with it. 8 on the shot clock. And a whistle and a foul on J.R. Smith. The Hornets are in the penalty, so the Rockets will shoot 1+. The Rockets still have a foul to give as Rafer Alston will check back into the game. Really, the only 2 guards the Rockets have that can stay with those young guards of the Hornets. One of them is in the game right now, Luther Head. The other one, Rafer Alston, preparing to check in.
They present a matchup problem for every team that they will face this season. Extremely quick off the dribble, and they can finish or find the open man.
One of your keys, remember, shoot free throws better.
We are knocking them down.
Well, that's keeping the Rockets in the game. 16 of 17 now for Houston.
I like it. We need it tonight.
Yeah.
This team looks extremely well, and we're playing without one of our better players.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be without your superstar, but whenever you're without a Tracy McGrady, you really almost have to be perfect in a lot of areas of the game.
We're a very solid game. As we said earlier, that's...
Chris Anderson. Boy, they're unconscious tonight. 57% from the field. Stromile Swift. Down into Yao Ming. Double team comes over on Yao. Barry gives it right back to him. 5 on the shot clock. Yao gets to a double team. Misses. P.J. Brown again. This time he misses, and Derek Anderson goes high for the rebound. Quickly to Rafer Alston. Looking to Stromile Swift. There it is on P.J. Brown. Stromile turns inside, lays it up. Must have been blocked. Chris Paul pulls up with a jumper. And Yao Ming with a rebound to John Barry. 49-46, three-point lead by the Hornets. 1:12 left to play. The Rockets down now to about 2 to 3 possessions. Yao's got his man pinned. Takes it inside, and it counts. No, they're going to say the basket does not count.
And Bill, you heard Coach Van Gundy screaming for John Barry to set it up, get the ball into Yao. I think he understands the urgency of having a guy who's 7'6", who's shooting about 65% from the field.
You know, Clyde, one thing John Barry does that the other guards don't do, if he passes it into Yao and gets it back, he'll pass it back in again. You know, a lot of times when he passes it back out, they won't give it back to Yao again, but a lot of times he can reposition, can't he?
Absolutely. Reposition, give it back to him. If he doesn't have it, you'll have the open jumper on the perimeter. Most great centers and most great teams with the great centers start their offense from the inside out.
Yeah. Simple.
It makes it easy.
Under a minute. PJ, backdoor to Boki. Boki dribbles right into Yao and got Yao up in the air and drew the foul. Yao left his feet. Second foul on Yao Ming. We get him out here now.
The Hornets are doing a good job of making basket cuts and trying to finish at the basket here, and the Rockets have a few holes in their defense.
That was one of the things that Akeem, it took him about 5 or 6 seasons to learn to stay on the floor on those head fakes.
Stay down, and they're still quick enough to go get it even after they've shot the ball.
Well, he was.
And Yao, at 7'6", he doesn't have to jump until they jump, and he can still block the shot. It takes a while, Bill, as you said.
Well, instead of picking up his second foul early in the game, he picked it up late. So Yao with 16 minutes played in the first half, and that's good. If he gets 16 minutes, he should get 12 points, and that's what he got. Ron Howard and Stromile Swift staying in the game for Houston. Austin gets a step, swinging around to Barry. Good catch by Barry, but a steal. Over to Chris Paul, and he's a blur. 52-47. Coach likes to finish strong in the second quarter and start fast in the third. Rafer. Three-pointer for Rafer Austin. He got it. A good return pass from Juwan Howard.
Wonderful feed by Juwan Howard, and Rafer knocked it down. He seems to be the only guy shooting the ball from the outside with some sort of authority, Bill.
Chris Paul on the drive. Floats it up short. Tipped out by Juwan. John looks up at the clock. He's got 3 shots. Oh! What a heavy play by the veteran. John Barry threw the foul with 1.6. What do you want to block this for from midcourt? JR just learning a lesson right there.
This thing, J.R. Smith is 19, 20 years of age, second season in the NBA, straight out of high school. John Barry knew that and took full advantage of it.
And he gets 3 free throws. Oh, John. He knew it, too. 18 of 21 for Houston from the free throw line. For John Barry, he is now 6 of 8 from the free throw line, make it 7 of 9. And he'll get 1 more free throw. So he gets 2. PJ throws it to length of the court. And Juwan comes out of there with it, and that's the end of the first half. After playing 24 minutes, we're right back where we started. Both teams with 52. Stay with us. Tonight's Lexus halftime report comes your way after the break.
Welcome back to the Lexus halftime report. The score is 52-52, all tied up here, and I'm joined by Rockets athletic trainer Keith Jones. And Keith, all night long we've been talking about Tracy McGrady, of course, the back spasms that he had. You've talked to him a few times today. Give us the latest. Give us the update on him right now.
He's feeling a lot better. He's resting comfortably. He's been getting some treatment at home, muscle stim and ice, taking some medication. I talked to him a couple times today. He's feeling a lot better.
Tracy's been battling just some nagging little injuries, the tendonitis, the bump on the knee, now this. What is, aside from his physical issues right now, how's he handling this, his mindset mentally?
He's in a really good frame of mind. That's one thing I was worried about. And we were joking around yesterday on his way to the hospital. I said, well, let's get it all out of the way now so we can have a good rest of the year. So he's taking it in stride. He's a competitor. He'll be back, and it's hard for him to sit. But he understands that he has to go through the motions and do what we tell him to do, so he'll be fine.
All right, Keith, I think we need to get you some treatment on that voice of yours.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thanks for joining us. Hey, stay with us. We'll be back with more of the Lexus halftime report after this.
Good to have you back as the Rockets make a late run in the second quarter to tie this game at 52. It took the Rockets a little while to discover where Yao Ming was in the offense, but once they did fly Drexler, he started to produce.
He's a hard target to miss, Bill. Here he is with the Shanghai Shake, as you called it.
Yeah.
Nothing but net. Again on the low block. Gives him the jab like he's going to drive and pulls up for the jump shot. Great move, spinning and whirling and twirling. Gets the three-point play.
And when they try to double team him, there's Barry finding him again. I think John does that as well as anybody, but even when he touches the ball, he creates open shots for you outside if they decide to double team him.
He is a major force in our offense. We got to get him the ball as much as possible because, as you said, he creates for other people as well as himself.
We'll be back with more. We're tied at 52 at halftime. Early in the game, that speed of the Hornets gave the Rockets a lot of fits, and then Jeff Van Gundy seemed to find a good combination. He had Luther Head on the floor along with Stromile Swift and John Barry, and they negated that speed a little bit in the second quarter.
Did a much better job of helping out in dribble penetration. That team seemed to have a very cohesive bond where they played well together. You see Chris Paul making it look easy, and here he is again with the stutter step.
Yeah.
He has a very quick stutter step, and he just continues. Great steal here, and he takes it in the open court. And there's Speedy Claxton. They're just a very fast set of guards, and you have to get down the court. J.R. Smith is the third element of that, and I tell you, these guys are young, fast, quick, and they're tough to defend, Bill.
One of your keys to the game, Clyde, was don't let them penetrate. They've been able to do that somewhat successfully, although the Rockets cut that off in the final 5 minutes of the second period.
They cut it. They did a great job, and that's the reason we're tied at the half, Bill. But obviously, they got to do a better job of getting more big guys in the paint to kind of negate some of that penetration by their guards.
All right, now that the Rockets have caught up, what do they have to do? They have to just keep doing what they did there in the second period.
Well, even though New Orleans has shot the ball pretty well tonight, what they have to do is make those guys prove that they can hit the open shots. Don't let them just blow by you off the dribble and create for themselves and other people.
Would you come back to start the third period with that lineup that ended the second quarter, or would you go back to the starters?
Absolutely. They got them back into the ball game, come out with it the second half, and see if they can continue with that same type of run.
All right, and Yao Ming, keep him active. Don't let him cool off, right?
He's a big target. We got to find him.
Find him, and maybe somebody can get a little hot from the outside. You know they're probably going to help PJ out a little bit.
They have to help him out. They're going to come in with the double team in the second half, and that's when the shooters like John Barry, Luther Head, Rafer Alston, they can take over. Derek Anderson will have wide open shots, but you should start your offense from the inside out.
Okay, run to the fridge, get another beverage. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment. We're just about ready to start the second half of play at the Toyota Center, and here are tonight's Bud Light first half stats. And really, the Hornets haven't been below 54% the entire game. That's their low so far tonight. The Rockets' high might be 42%, so the Rockets have climbed up from 30%. And the free throws have been the difference in the game, Clyde. 20 of 23 for Houston.
Well, the Rockets not getting it to go down from the outside are doing the smart thing and taking the ball to the basket and capitalizing with 23 free throws in tonight's game.
So what you're saying is the one way to counteract speed is if you have the size advantage, pound it down the middle, and that's what they're doing. That's why Yao Ming has 12, Rafer Alston 10 on the outside. Then it's Anderson, Swift, and Howard for Houston. For New Orleans / Oklahoma City, P.J. Brown 11, Speedy Claxton with 11. You know, last year, interesting dilemma as you take a look at the Houston Rockets. But I'm looking at that New Orleans / Oklahoma City. The Hornets were dead last in the league in attendance last year. And,
dead last.
Well, Dick Hyde will be glad to see that. And they were dead last in attendance. Their first game, they had 19,000 plus in Oklahoma City, a very rabid crowd. We saw it in preseason. They had about 16,000 the night we played there for a practice game. That may be hard to leave Oklahoma City when this is all
I
set.
tell you what, Bill, I was born in New Orleans, love it. But if I'm the owner of that team, there's no way I'd go back to the city of New Orleans. Oklahoma City would be the new name of that franchise. Of course, they have to get clearance from the NBA and David Stern, but I don't think they'll have a lot of trouble in doing so.
Well, George Shinn is saying all the right things about going back to New Orleans, but really when you look at the bottom line when the season's over, and you're going to be in the top 5 in attendance, where last year in New Orleans you were barely getting 8,000 to a game, and you averaged 19,000 in Oklahoma City, you've got to take a serious look at that.
And don't think they are not going to do that. They're just being politically correct. It's all about economics. If you or I are the owner, it would be an easy decision, as it is for George Shinn as well.
Well, and of course, Benson, the owner of the Saints, saying all the right things, but they're playing everywhere else too, and he's talked about San Antonio. Problem with Benson, he said nice things about San Antonio when he's there.
Spoken like a true politician.
That's right. David Wesley thought about a 3, drops it down to Yao. Yao tried to keep it above his head and had the ball blocked. Boki gets it out quickly to J.R. Smith. J.R. nice through the middle, misses badly, and knocks it out of bounds. J.R. Smith, one of those good young players. He was the only representative for the Hornets down here for that Katrina charity game that Kenny Smith got up. And he came down here and did a lot of extra work.
Did a lot of extra work. He's a very nice young man, very talented. Was in the slam dunk contest at last year's All-Star game, Bill, and did very well.
Jawan Howard gives the Rockets their second lead of the game. It's the first lead since they led 2-0. Here's Paul. And they settled into a half-court game. And I don't think that's their strength.
I don't think that's what they like to do. That's typical of the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, you slow the game down a little bit. You play right into Houston's hands. And Rafer Alston gets a step going down the baseline, back outside to D.A. Good pick up by Boki. Anderson just misses. Yao Ming cleans it up.
He seemed to have more of a commitment to going to the offensive boards this season, Bill. And that's a great thing to see.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, we've said it time and time again, Clyde, the more minutes he can stay on the court and stay out of foul trouble, the more minutes, more points he's going to put up.
Because when he's on the court, he's very productive.
J.R. Smith is fouled going to the basket.
Boy, he was just gliding to the basket.
Yeah.
Look at this young fellow.
This kid can fly. He is really fun to
watch. And he's airborne.
Yeah.
He's above Yao Ming there. Look at that. Look at that. Talk about elevation. He's only going to get better and better and better. He'd only be a sophomore in college right now, folks.
Yeah, he's 6'7", and he was the first-round draft pick, the 18th player taken overall last year, and came right out of St. Benedict's Prep.
Averaged about 10 points a game in his rookie campaign. Significant playing time, albeit on a bad team. Still had a tremendous amount of success in his rookie campaign.
Was born in 1985, right?
That was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've got ties in Socks older than that kid. Down the baseline to Ray for Alston and a holding foul. And when I started doing this, the players were born in the 50s. Now they're born in the 80s.
But you've remained the same.
Yeah, right.
How have you done that?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You look the same. The rest of us are getting older.
It's really, Perry Furman shoots me with that soft light. 7 on the shot clock. We're going to have an offensive foul called on Juwan Howard.
I tell you, that's when Juwan puts his hands up. Who, me? I didn't do anything.
Well, you know, it's kind of like you. Whenever you never committed a foul.
No way.
Down into PJ. Nice pickup by Juwan. Yao comes over to help out. Gets a deflection.
Blue ball. He was right here in the back. Blue ball.
Mark Davis is saying off the shoulder. I guess he means the ball went off the shoulder of Yao Ming. That was a great help out by Juwan Howard defensively then.
He's just very solid defensively. He's there always in position. Because playing with these young live bodies, Juwan Howard knows that he can't keep up with these guys, so he's got to be there in position. He's very, very intelligent, and he makes the adjustment easily.
Boki missed that jumper, but hustled back to deflect the ball out of bounds on defense. Rockets will have 21 seconds on the shot clock. Wesley looking down to Yao Ming. And a nice backdoor pass, and coming over is Boki Nakbar, and he's called for the foul. A lot of times that's dangerous when you loop it over because the weak side guy comes over and gets a charge.
Always. The weak side, every team is going to have a weak side guy come over because that's what they do. The lock and lob is very effective, but you got to remember, Bill, at the end of the day, Yao Ming is still 7'6". So you have a lot of room for error there.
Boki didn't get outside the circle, did he?
No, he's right up under the basket, which is an automatic foul.
2 team fouls on the Hornets. The Rockets have 1. Raper down to Yao Ming again. Double team comes over, and JR knocks it away. You got to see that double team coming from the other side. Boki with one extra pass, maybe should have gone onto the basket.
The double team comes so quick from the Hornets that most of the time our post guys do not see it coming. Here it is again. J.R. Smith comes from the weak side. He's there as soon as the ball gets there. Knocks it away and starts the transition basket.
J.R. Smith backs up, shoots a jumper, misses, and a good rebound by Ray for Alston. He stayed right after him. Rockets still lead by 2 points. D.A. tries to make it 4, and he misses. Chris Paul with that great crossover. They were waiting for him. P.J. Brown looking inside, nothing there, and David West. And Juwan Howard is called for the foul, but he thought maybe West threw one too many elbows.
Looked like it was getting a little physical down low, Bill. David West seems to be a little disturbed. Maybe Juwan is grabbing his jersey or his pants a little bit. He wouldn't do that. He would never do that. He's such a nice guy.
Great guy. But a veteran. And whistle. And the foul is called on David Wesley, his second foul of the game. That's the 3rd team foul on the Rockets. The Hornets have 2 team fouls with 8:26 left to play in the quarter. And they'll call out a ball boy to clean off the court. Clean up those slick spots. That'll be dangerous.
Oh, you don't want anyone getting hurt.
That's what John Barry used to do. When his daddy played for the Rockets over in the Summit, John and Scooter and Brent were all ball boys for the Rockets.
So they grew up with the game in their blood.
It was like living in a neighborhood with a bunch of Dennis the Menace. Those little guys were always in trouble. 6 seconds now. P.J. Brown. J.R. Smith to the basket, and he missed it, and Yao Ming just tucked it away. Yao with 8 rebounds. Yao's open. He can hit that shot, and he rims it out. Boy, everybody's gone ice cold now. Dangerous pass. And Paul did a great job of throwing it off the knee of Rafer Alston.
Chris Paul is a very heads-up player. He just has a wonderful feel for the game of basketball.
Well, he helped lead Wake Forest to 48 wins in only 2 seasons there. And the last guy to do that was a guy by the name of Tim Duncan.
Not bad company.
When he was at Wake Forest. JR to the basket. Nice little pass. Yao with a block. Quickly up to Wesley. Rockets have the numbers if they push. Wesley took a tour, decided to back off. He's got Yao if he wants him. He's got him. Yao turns. Back to Wesley. And he forces it up. He'll get 2 free throws. The Rockets kept attacking the basket.
That's what you got to do. Get these guys in foul trouble. Make them play. Make them defend you. Don't just settle for the first open outside jumper. Take it to the basket. Use your strengths.
There's Yao, and there's no reason he shouldn't have 2 or 3 blocks a game, is he?
Especially coming from the weak side quickly. He's been a force. He's had some magnificent block shots in tonight's game.
And one of the keys, I think, he's not coming out of the game because he's in foul trouble. He's coming out to get a breather.
I like it.
And I think Jeff's doing a little defensive tutoring. Jeff's never happy. Yao's got 14 points and 9 rebounds. And Dikembe now will play a few minutes. Now, for Dikembe, he was effective in game 1. Can he be as effective against a team of the team speed of the Hornets?
At this stage of his career, these guys are a little bit too active. If he has a chance to set himself in the paint and control the paint by blocking shots, which is really what we need, he can be effective. But if he has to run the court and keep up with these young guys, it could be a tough time for Mutombo.
West to the basket. They made him change it, and a lot of arms and hands slapping at the basketball. And Rafer Alston comes over and palms the head of Mark Davis.
That was interesting.
It was. I thought Davis was going to call a tee on him. It looked like he was about to blow the whistle.
Not only would it have been a tee when I played, he would have got escorted out of the building, Bill.
Not if it was Jake O'Donnell. There's a drive by Speedy Claxton. He misses, and Mutombo with a rebound, and he's hammered by P.J. Brown. Well, this is Rafer going over to protest, and he grabs Mark Davis and gives him a little peck.
Oh, Mark, he's not sure of what to think about that. Talk about catching an official by surprise.
I'd have blown the whistle. Wesley with the jumper from the wing, and he misses. So David 1 for 4 from the field. And almost created a turnover. J.R. Smith from the parking lot, short. Rafer tips it over to Juwan Howard. Good teamwork. So the Rockets, with their biggest lead of the game, 4, they're trying to build on that. They need to put a couple of baskets together and get a little lead and force a timeout by the Hornets. There it is. Wesley needs to hit it, and he missed it. Mutombo keeps it alive, but West gets it over to Boki, and a foul by Wesley, and that's the 5th team foul on the Rockets, so not a good one to get.
Well, I think that was a great driving kick by Rafer Alston, and as witnessed by the shot by David Wesley, we're just not knocking down the open jumpers tonight. So far.
Well, the Hornets are 0 for 10 this quarter. The only points have been from the foul line, and Boki will add to that.
That's an interesting name, Boki.
Well, it's Bostjan.
Exactly.
Bostjan Nakbar, but immediately he was called Boki. Of course, on the Slovenian national team, they nicknamed him Boki. And when he got to Houston, he told his teammates, just call me Boki. What a great guy, too.
Oh, very nice young man. Nothing but class. Hard worker, and seems to have found a home with the New Orleans Hornets.
Yeah, and I hope so. I hope he has a long career in the league because he's just class all the way. And Wesley. And what's the whistle? Offensive foul on David Wesley. That's his 4th personal foul of the game. We have a timeout on the court. 5:59 left to play in the 3rd quarter. And this has turned into a very low-scoring game.
That was impressive.
Oh, boy. Obviously, there is hard to find any health food up there. That's a well-fed group that Patty was talking to. Oh! And there was a steal by West on the court, and Mutombo with a foul.
I kind of like the dancing, though. The dancing was sweet.
Yeah.
I could never do the hustle. But I got to go get a lesson, Bill. I got to do it.
You know, Clyde, I've never seen you dance. You're just too cool. One time I saw you dance was in the championship. Well, there's a steal by David West.
That was a murder.
You were dancing with everybody.
Those were great times, and we hope to revisit those this season.
Well, if we can get Tracy healthy, I think there's a good chance the Rockets can make a run at 55-60 wins if they can get their superstar out on the court.
I totally agree with that. We have all of the key components in place. It's just a matter of going out and getting the job done.
Well, while the Hornets are 0 for 11 from the field, the Rockets are only 2 for 8. So they really haven't been able to gain any ground. Juwan Howard with 2, maybe 3. That's being aggressive.
Good action here on the part of the Rockets. Derek Anderson with a nice feed to Juwan Howard, who finishes very strong and goes to the charity stripe for the and one. The old-fashioned three-point play opportunity.
You know, it's interesting. You call it the charity stripe, but a lot of teams shoot the ball so bad they don't take advantage of that charity, do they?
No, we used to call it that because it was a free shot.
Yeah, right. Well, the Rockets are taking advantage tonight. 23 of 26 for 89% for Houston, and they've needed every one of them because the Hornets have 4 more field goals than the Rockets do.
And the Hornets have shot the ball extremely well tonight, and that's the reason they're in this ball game.
There it is.
It continues.
They haven't shot well. That's only the first basket they've made in this quarter. They were lights out in the first half. And both teams now in the penalty for the final 4:50. So you drive to the basket. Eric Anderson says, I'll take a 3. And Wesley saves it. The Rockets get a fresh 24. Wesley saves it to Alston. Great save. Juwan to the basket. Stripped to the ball. Speedy Claxton on the drive. Outside the Boki knockbar, and he misses the 3. And look at David West go up high for that read. Boy, he's got some wheels, doesn't he? Or is that Butler?
I think that's Butler, but boy, did he get up.
Yeah, that was Butler.
He got up.
Razul Butler. He had some good minutes with Miami last year.
Good young player in his 4th season. He comes in more as a defensive player. That's really not his forte.
Look how active they are. Rockets lead it by a point. 4 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Boki took about 5 steps going in. Another offensive rebound by the Hornets. They're just so much quicker than Houston, and Mutombo is called, and as you guessed it a moment ago, this team's a little too quick for deep.
They do a little bit too much. They're doing a lot of penetration, just taking it to the basket off the dribble, and that's a tough time for any big guy.
So Yao Ming will get right back into the game, and Butler will have a couple of free throws. A young man out of Philadelphia. One of those Philly players. Played at LaSalle in the Big 5. Boy, that Philadelphia basketball go all the way back to Wilt Chamberlain's days. They've had some great players come out of Philly.
Look at Kobe, Rasheed Wallace, Tino Mobley. A great group of talented players.
Game tied at 61. All right, DA will square up. He'll shoot it. Missed it. And Juwan Howard tracks it down again. He attracts the crowd. He lets everybody go away, and he puts it up. Oh, they're going to call an offensive foul on Juwan Howard. He can't believe it. Did he hook him here, Clyde?
Might have been a little bit of a hook on the side of the neck.
Good call.
Good move. Good strong move. Next time, David West did an excellent job of a little acting on that play, Bill. I don't think it was as bad as it looked.
Offensive foul on Juwan. So even though both teams are over the limit, you don't get free throws. Claxton picks up his dribble. Desmond Mason. Oh boy, throws up a brick. And there's a foul on Anderson, and that means that Rafer Alston will shoot free throws. You know, that Alston's always around those rebounds. Always guy on the court.
He goes after it. I love that. It's great to see the guards come back for the long rebounds. He does a wonderful job.
Clyde, when the Rockets traded for you in '95, they traded Otis Thorpe, and a lot of people thought it would hurt Houston's rebounding, but you averaged the rest of the season about 7 or 8 rebounds a game, and you got a lot around that free throw area.
Well, because I knew Hakeem Olajuwon had all of the ones around the basket.
Good point.
So I hung out around the free throw area for the long rebounds.
And I think a lot of guards, you know, Steve Francis is another guard that rebounds well. Jason Kidd rebounds well from the free throw line. Austin will get you 5 or 6 a game.
I agree. I love that because those are baskets. Those are rebounds that, if you get those, it gives you 4 or 5 more chances to run the ball in transition per game.
Claxton back outside to Butler, and he misses on the 3. Yao Ming had the rebound. Claxton had it stolen away by Derek Anderson. I think Claxton may have fouled Yao to get the ball in the first place.
And Derek Anderson picked his pocket.
Looking down to Juwan. Juwan takes it into a whole bunch of blue jerseys. Boy, they came swarming on him, the Hornets. Mason. And a turnover by New Orleans. And we have a timeout on the court. 2:42 left to play in this third quarter, where neither team can buy a basket. Well, Clutch has figured out a little game where he started with chairs under everybody's body, and now they're all gone but one, Clyde. How does he do this?
He's a magician.
All right. Now, will they all come tumbling down?
Oh, look at that. A little bit like a Houdini stunt. Clutch, he does it all.
Houdini or whodunit? Well, in this quarter, the Rockets are 3 of 11, and the Hornets are 1 for 17. Now, if you're 1 for 17, you ought to be 20 points behind. Derek Anderson hits a 3. Finally. And the Rockets, with their biggest lead of the game, only 5 points. Anderson for Speedy Claxton. Look at Yao pick him up. And taking it inside. Yao tried to deflect it. He made him change the shot for sure. And it down to Juwan Howard. Juwan wants to repost. And Derek Anderson says, let me hit another 3. I'm in the mood.
He's feeling it now, Bill. He struggled pretty much all night, and he seems to have some confidence going now.
DA leading the way for Houston.
This is what we expected from Derek Anderson when they made the acquisition and picked him up.
And Desmond Mason.
He can shoot the basketball, Bill.
He can play.
Speaking of Derek Anderson, Desmond Mason is not bad either.
Yao Ming. Really works on Chris Anderson. Yao takes it, shoots it over Chris for 2. There's no way you can stop that. 1-on-1.
Oh, that's a tough shot to defend against. Chris Anderson takes a couple of elbows.
Well, he's 6'10", Clyde, so he's giving up 8 inches. That's amazing. Oh, Mason took it to the basket, and Clyde made him eat it. Clyde Yao. Oh, look at Mason. Yao's just trying to get up. Boy, Mason just went off. What's going on out there?
Their tempers flaring everywhere. What is the problem with these young guys?
Apparently Mason was on the bottom of the pile, and Yao was trying to get up.
The officials have got to get this game in hand and get these guys back to their bench, because they're obviously upset about what took place.
And what's Darrell Walker so upset about?
I think he's out there to save his players a little dough. He knows the fine pool will be pretty high.
Let's see it again now.
There it is on the replay. Desmond Mason goes high. Yao gets nothing but ball.
Yao's just going after the ball, and now Mason picks Yao up off the floor. And this is what's going on afterward. Mason wants Yao Ming for some reason.
He moves the official out the way. He's a little upset.
What's he upset about? Just got his shot blocked.
Well, that's a reason to get upset, but there's nothing you can do about it but get back up and try again.
Well, I thought he blocked it like Clyde Drexler used to.
I tell you what, he got nothing but ball and went after the loose ball. I blocked a few shots, but I actually had to jump on my shot.
Yeah, but you used to let the guy cushion your fall, and that's what Yao did.
That's exactly what he did.
Well, they're all getting together now. That's Tom Washington, Mark Davis, Zach Zarba. Washington, the veteran official.
Trying to restore order here in the Toyota Center.
Jump ball. Stop clock stays where it's at. We got double technical. Desmond Howard.
See this again. Mason goes up strong. Yao gets it clean. A clean block. Didn't do anything that was not fundamentally sound.
Yao can't help it that he...
Oh, I know what Mason is upset about. Juwan Howard just kind of got him off of his teammate, which is the right thing to do. It reminds me of the old days, Bill.
Well, in the old days, they'd have let it go. I don't think Yao and Mason, you're right. Yao and Mason don't have it. He's not squawking Yao Ming now. This would be a jump ball and a double technical call.
That was a good move by Juwan Howard for protecting his teammate.
And Yao wins the tip. Under a minute left to play in the quarter. See if they go back to Yao now. Anderson fronting him. Anderson to Strohmeyer. Swift goes for the dunk. Left-handed, missed it. Desmond Mason at the other end. Desmond Mason with a finger roll and missed it. DA comes out of there with the ball and gets it back from Yao. 31 seconds left in the quarter. And this game has picked up noticeably.
Things have changed a little bit. There's a little bit more intensity, Bill. Why does that always happen after an altercation?
I don't know. Anderson trying to keep it alive. Here are all the blue jerseys. Who will Speedy go to? And he's fouled by Luther Hill. Well, both teams are in the penalty. Why would you want to foul him?
Juwan, there's Juwan coming to the rescue of his team. He pushed Mason and then West, and Juwan is taking over like the captain that he is, Bill. I like it. Protect your teammates at all times.
Speedy Claxton will have one more free throw, and Luther Head will go out. Alston will come back in. I don't think Jeff Van Gundy was happy with that foul. 12.8 left to play in the half. You got to know what the situation is.
Always know what's happening during the course of the game. Because if you lose track, you can make a mistake.
Both teams are in the penalty. Here we go to the final 12 seconds. 71-65 Houston. Alston on the perimeter. Down to 5, down to 4, down to 3. Strohmeyer Swift. And the Rockets never got a shot off. You've got to be more aware of the shot clock. Get the ball in the hands of the guy that can shoot it. Well, not an artistic quarter, but a lively one. And here we go to the final 12 minutes. The Rockets lead at 71-65. Time to check in on tonight's AIG Big Man Watch, and we've had quite a matchup here between these two. 5 block shots for Yao Ming. Barry Knew that pass had to come over there, and Anderson steals it back. Speedy Claxton picked up by Swift. Sets up PJ from the top of the key. He misses. Yao tips it, and it's tipped back outside. The Hornets get a fresh 24.
Look at the dribble penetration by Speedy Claxton.
Mason shoots it over Yao Ming.
Just creates so much havoc inside.
It's Barry, Wesley, Luther Head, Swift, and Yao for the Rockets. Claxton will be out on Luther Head. Yao turns in one motion, but he missed. Mason again from the wing, and Swift with a rebound.
That is an interesting looking jump shot by Desmond Mason.
Swift didn't want to shoot that, does he? He'll shoot that one, but he missed.
I'd like to see him get down to the low block and go to work.
Yeah, and there's a blocking foul called on Houston. Every possession, as Yao Ming, Michelle Leggett, the Rockets trainer,
got a little nick on the shoulder there, Bill.
Covering up the boo-boo.
But, you know, this game is not a contact sport, Bill.
Yeah, sure. Tell me about it. We're the only professional sport other than baseball. At least they wear a batting helmet.
I've heard that for years, and I go, oh, you're kidding? Basketball is the ultimate contact sport.
Yeah. Shot inside, and Yao tips it on over to Luther Hill. 71-67, only a 4-point Houston lead. Rockets need to make a run. Looking down to Swift, but he can't get position. Anderson's fronting the ball. 7 seconds. Luther going to shoot it up and hits a three-pointer. Luther has. In the preseason, he had some cold-blooded threes down the stretch.
He's proven that he can take and make the big shots going down the stretch.
He didn't hesitate then, did he?
There's no fear in Luther Hill.
Yep. 74-67. Anderson on the fake. Yao lifts his feet. Yao draws the foul. You should never come out there. He's not going to shoot that ball.
Chris Anderson is really a solid player, but he's not truly known for his three-point ability. Stay down, make him make a shot.
Did they call this on Swift? Called it on Yao. Swift reached in. I didn't know if they called it early, and Anderson. Hornets 16 of 20 from the free throw line for 80%. The Rockets 25 of 28 for 89%. And Butler will go out of the game. So it'll be Chris Paul and Speedy Claxton in the backcourt. There's a miss. Barry with a rebound. P.J. Brown, Mason, and Anderson. Barry is cut off and a blocking foul. Called on Desmond Mason.
This is where the Rockets need half-court execution. Get the ball into the big fella and let him create for his teammates and himself.
Hasn't touched it the last couple of times down.
And Chris Anderson's a good defender, but I think Yao has the advantage in that situation.
Luther Head is able to save it to Wesley, and he hits an air ball. Great pass. And it's blocked by Swift, and a late whistle. Little body contact after the block. Played it on the big screen. The crowd thought it. He blocked it with his elbow. He got so high up. Look at this.
He's long and he jumps so high. He's a very dangerous player. He just has so many tools.
And Claxton misses the free throw. So Luther Head now will come out of the game. Jeff Van Gundy preferring to have the veteran leadership of Rafer Alston down the stretch with 9:13 left to play. It'll be Alston and Wesley, Barry, Swift, and Yao. Speedy Claxton will have a couple of more. Claxton came in averaging just over 16 points in the first 2 games for the Hornets. And Claxton has 14 tonight.
Not bad for a guy averaging about 23 minutes a game. Dude.
Yeah, good point.
That's called production.
Anderson came out and drew the foul. That's his 4th of the game. 3 team fouls on the Rockets, 2 on the Hornets. 74-69 Houston. Swift came away with it, and it's blocked by Anderson out of bounds. That's not goaltending.
I tell you, Chris Anderson can just fly, Bill. He didn't just block this ball. This was a slat.
I don't think it ever got up to the rim. We have a timeout. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. And the Rockets will have the ball. The Rockets struggling without Tracy McGrady, trying to score some points, leading it by 5. 23rd. Rockets basketball, live it every day, every game. Yao with a miss. And a loose ball foul is called on Stromile Swift. Well, these 2 teams, the Rockets are shooting 39%, and the Hornets are shooting 38%.
Second half, the action has been slow, Bill. Not a lot. Neither team has been able to make a break from the other. A lot of defense out on the court.
Is it defense or just no offense? Come on, Clyde, tell the truth. Claxton with the jumper over to P.J. Brown, and he misses. My goodness. You know what the second half score is? 22-17 Houston. Now, that's second half. That's counting 12-minute third quarter and 4 minutes into the fourth. All right, Yao, hit a basket. Take it to the middle. Jump hook. Yeah.
Oh, nothing but ball.
The Rockets riding those broad shoulders of Yao Ming. 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocked shots. Speedy Claxton gets a pick from P.J. Brown. Brown going to, he traveled a little bit, got it to Desmond Mason. He misses it. Brown gets it right back. Brown takes it up. Yao Ming blocked it before he got off the floor. Still 18 seconds on the shot clock. Short. Anderson blocked by Yao20p. Well, the Rockets have a small lineup, but where's Stromile Swift? I mean, goodness gracious, doesn't he have to get a rebound?
You think so, Bill? I tell you, the Hornets are so active. They're just reacting to everything a step quicker than the Houston Rockets. It was Chris Anderson, Mr. Non-Stop Hustle. He's just always moving.
Now with 3 fouls. Now, the Rockets have a little bit of a problem, and that's the 15th foul on Houston, so with 7:39 left to play, the Hornets will be in the bonus. Boki Nakpar checks back into the game. The Hornets have only 2 team fouls, so they still have a couple to give.
They're in a little bit better position. But the execution on the offensive end is key for the Houston Rockets. Get the ball into Yao. You got great shooters on the outside with John Barry, David Wesley, and Rafer Alston.
Another loose ball picked up by the Hornets. So Anderson misses both free throws. And they get a 3 from Chris Paul. Boy, is Jeff Van Gundy hot? I don't blame him. I'm getting hot.
Got to get the rebound.
He's got to work harder. 7:27 left to play. And the Hornets shooting only 37%, down by only 4. 7:27 left to play. Rockets clinging to a 4-point lead. Well, the Rockets trying to find a way to hang on and pull one out here, but it hasn't been easy.
This has not been the most artistic game, Bill.
Really? You know, that's why we're paying you the big bucks. To jump in there with a courageous statement like that.
That was going on the line a little bit.
Oh, really? Yao has it down on the baseline. Alston with a 3. Got it! Big shot by Rafer Alston. Boy, they needed him to step up and make that.
He shot the ball well all game, Bill. He started out, he was the only guy capable of making a shot from the outside in the first half, and he's continued in the second.
Edie Claxton. West back outside. Claxton will put up a three. Rushed it. Yao Ming with his 12th rebound of the game. 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 block shots for Yao. Murray wants him to get it again.
And Jeff Van Gundy's screaming for his team to run the offensive set.
Yao misses. And a loose ball foul on Stroman Swift. He just can't get the inside position.
He tried, though. I'll never fault a guy for giving the effort. Even though you just can't come over the back, a little bit more subtle, perhaps. Don't run him over. You gotta go around him. Go around him.
Find out why you've always been one of the nicest guys on this planet. And David West will shoot the free throw. You know, 13 of the 21 points scored in this half by New Orleans from the free throw.
To say they struggled would be an understatement, Phil. And in the first half, they didn't miss very many shots.
But, you know, if he makes his free throw, they're only going to be down by 5. And that's it. They're down by 5. Well, you should have put this team away a long time ago.
I agree. This team is a young team trying to find their way. And the Rockets are a veteran team with great chemistry, albeit without Tracy McGrady tonight. Still, should be a little bit more fine-tuned.
Eric Anderson hits a three, his third three-pointer of the game. Anderson with 17 points. That's big.
He seems to have found his range.
David West working in on Howard. Howard is in the game. And 3 seconds. Good call. Good call by Tom Washington. Because when he passed it down to PJ, he had already been in the paint.
I got a question for you, Bill. Now, how many seconds constitute a 3-second violation?
About 6. Maybe on the minimum. With all the things the referees have to look at, that's probably not one of them.
You don't see that call very often in the NBA.
Now, puts up the jumper, and he missed it. And he tips it off West. Good hustle, Yao Ming.
Great hustle. Way to stay with it, Yao.
He's played 31 minutes. That's a lot of minutes for him. Looked like got hit on the wrist.
Got hit on the wrist and went after his own rebound and got rewarded that time.
All right, the Rockets get a fresh 24 on this possession. They'll pull it out. Yao sets the pick. Eric Anderson goes around. Finds Barry in the corner. Go back to the outside, and P.J. Brown pulls down his 12th rebound of the game. Paul will wait for P.J. to set a pick. Paul takes it inside. Yao made him change his shot. Up ahead to Barry. And back on defense. The Hornets get the call. Inside the West. And it looked like Yao may have gotten a piece of that one. And Jawan's on the floor, and it'll be a jump ball. P.J. Brown and Jawan Howard.
I think David West is going to someday realize that Yao Ming can block shots.
Yeah, he keeps attacking him, doesn't he?
I got to give him credit. He keeps going at it, but he's not having a lot of success, Bill. Got to give him an E for effort. Here he is. Yao got him from the side, and David West is 6'9" and jumps pretty high. And here's Yao coming from the weak side, patrolling the paint.
Well, that's the 7th block shot by Yao Ming.
That's the beauty of having a legitimate kick guy.
He's getting close to a triple-double. He's got 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 blocks.
Very solid performance.
Of course, I did the game, and Hakeem got a quadruple.
You talk about putting in a night's work.
Yeah, there have been only 4 of those.
That's hard to do.
All right, 82-74, Rockets with an 8-point lead. This is the biggest lead of the game for Houston. Nice move. Missed shot. Juwan tips it over to D.A. First 24 for Houston. Quickly to Yao. Yao's got it inside on P.J. Brown. Shoots the Shanghai shake. And he missed. He's missed his last 5 shots in a row. He may be getting a little tired.
He's put in big minutes tonight, Joe.
Oop, they left Chris Paul wide open, but he missed a shot. Left to play in the game. And another turnover by Houston. Broken knockball keeps the Hornets close.
You've got to protect the basketball, Bill.
17 turnovers by Houston.
You cannot get careless.
Only 8 turnovers by the Hornets. 82-76. Now again. Double team. Yao goes to the middle with a jump and missed it. So he's missed his last 6 shots in a row. Jackson. P.J. Brown drives right by Yao. Gets the basket and Yao with a foul. He's pretty tired, Clyde. He reached out then like he was trying to make an open field tackle.
Oh, yeah. You can see it with the hands on the knees. He's put in some big minutes tonight, and he's done a lot on the floor.
Remember, this is a Hornet team that came from 18 back at the end of the regular season last year to beat Houston, and in preseason this year, trailed by 22 in Oklahoma City and came back to win.
They are a resilient bunch, and they just never quit.
They don't fear the Rockets.
No, not at all. They got that young energy, and they just keep coming at you.
Well, they've kept coming. The Rockets just a moment ago had an 8-point lead. It's down to 3. 82-79 with a lot of time left. 3:15 and counting left to play in the game. Going to Derek Anderson now. He's got the smaller Claxton on him. Gets it right back from Barry. B.A. backing up. Got cut off. Barry with a 3. That's going to be way off the mark. And the Rockets are imploding right in front of our eyes. No one can make a basket. 2:58 left to play. Can the Rockets hold on and pull one out? Rockets trying to hold on and win one here without T-Mac. 82-79. Yao Ming with 18 points, 13 rebounds, and a career-tying 7 blocked shots, but he looks a little tired, Clyde Drexler.
Looks a little tired, and here's where in the last 3 minutes of the ball game, this is where you need to pick it up, Bill. You need to execute. You need to be at your sharpest in order to win this game.
Now the Rockets are in the penalty. The Hornets only have 2 team fouls. They still have a couple to give until the 2-minute mark. Both teams have 2 full timeouts plus a 20. Chris Paul on the attack. West looking down to Brown. That's not there. Here's Boki. P.J. Brown off the glass for 2. And it's 82-81 Rockets.
P.J.'s not looking like he called glass on that shot, Bill. Seems somewhat sort of surprised that it went in.
They put it on the score sheet.
It's good.
Rockets just can't seem to get anything going. Look, they're still on the perimeter, and there's only 7 seconds on the shot clock. Rafer Alston for the basket with a hook. Yao's got it. Got to put it up. He does, and he missed. 1 second on the shot clock when Yao put it up. And the Hornets, P.J. trying to give him the lead, and he does. And they've come all the way back. The Hornets, just a few minutes ago, trailing by 8 points, have come back and forced a Houston timeout. And the Hornets, the Rockets' nemesis, back up by a point. Well, the Rockets are down by a point. Houston has gone scoreless, Clyde Drexler, for the last 4 minutes.
They can't seem to find the basket, and they've had some good looks at it, particularly Yao Ming. Just can't get him to go down, but this game is not over by a long shot.
Yeah, that's one of your superstars. Of course, this is where you really miss T-Mac, isn't it? A guy you can put the ball in his hands.
Give him the ball, and he will score. Someone else has to step up, maybe John Barry, Derek Anderson, Juwan Howard, or Rafer Alston, because they're going to have wide open looks. Because in the last 2 minutes, I think the Hornets will double Yao Ming on the low block.
Rockets have managed only 11 points in this quarter. Barry comes outside. Now trying to get position. They're double teaming him. Off the ball, you're right. It's a little zone defense on the interior. Barry over to Yao. Turnaround. Tough shot. Won't go. And the rebound goes to the Hornets. He's shooting. He's getting his shot only because he's 7'6", but they aren't really good shots.
They're not high percentage. Certainly not at the low block.
West to the basket. He's fouled. Well, I saw it last year. Didn't believe it. I saw it in the preseason and didn't believe it. And I'm seeing it again tonight. I'm starting to believe it.
You'd have to put this New Orleans Hornet team away because they're not going to go away, Bill.
Well, the Rockets had their chance. They bumped it up to an 8-point lead with the basketball at the 4-minute mark. But since then, the Rockets have gone scoreless.
And have yet to shoot a free throw in this quarter.
Yeah. West gets them both. An 11-0 run right now in crunch time. Rockets trying desperately for somebody to step up and hit a basket. Barry down to Yao. Yao to the middle with a jump hook. Boy, he looked to turn him in.
Now that's the shot we want Yao to take. On the low block, right near the basket. That's his home.
20 points, 14 rebounds, 7 block shots for Yao Ming. 85-84 lead by the Hornets. 1 minute left to play in the game. The Rockets need to pitch a shutout on defense. Pokey to the middle, back out to Chris Paul. Good move by Paul. Floats one up and in. What a shot by the rookie from Wake Forest.
Quick release, high teardrop is what we used to call that. Yep, the teardrop.
And it's bringing tears to the Rockets' eyes right now. Ray for Alston. Spinning inside, nowhere to go. To Derek Anderson. Missed it, and it hit the shot clock out of bounds. So the Hornets will have the basketball with 35 seconds, leading by 3. And a timeout taken by Byron Scott. And right now, his team has the Rockets on the ropes one more time. That's the story with 35 seconds left to play. The Rockets in the penalty. The Hornets still have a foul to give. Houston led by 8 points with 6 minutes left. And the Hornets then went on a 13-2 run in the next 5.5 minutes. You would think the veteran team would be able to take charge of the game, but it's been just the opposite with the young team taking charge.
It's been a game of runs, streaks. And right now the Hornets are on the streak.
Rockets will send out Wesley, Anderson, and Rafer Alston, along with Juwan Howard and Yao Ming. P.J. Brown, Boki Nakbar, Claxton, Chris Paul, and David West for the Hornets.
This is where the veteran leadership of the Houston Rockets has got to come through.
Well, this is a possession here. The Rockets.
They get 2 for 1.
Claxton puts out Paul. Paul floats another one up and in. How about that Chris Paul? Boy, is he a good-looking young player. Back-to-back pressure teardrops by Chris Paul, and he has been the leader.
He has made all of the big shots going down the stretch.
He wants that basketball.
He definitely wants it. He's at home with it. Very comfortable.
We see why the Hornets wanted to make him. They got rid of Baron Davis last year in that deal to Golden State. So they had to play the rest of the season without a point guard, but when they picked up Chris Paul with the 4th pick in the first round, they knew what they were doing.
There he is there with dribble penetration to the middle, and again, he shoots that little teardrop. He's very effective with it. He gets it up high.
They have him listed at 6 feet. I think that's rather generous. But he plays at about 6'4".
He's very quick and very capable of doing just wonderful things on the basketball court. He's fun to watch.
Yeah. He's got 13 points, 8 assists tonight to lead everybody in that category. But the most important thing is when they needed the 2 quick shots, he took them.
and took him without hesitation. The Rockets have got to be thinking now, where did we go wrong here in the last 6 minutes of this game?
Look at that. A 15-2 run by the Hornets. They just have Houston's number.
I think the Rockets are a veteran ball club, but the key to being a good veteran ball club is to execute down the stretch and to finish games the way you'd like to see them finish. Can't let them get out of hand.
Well, you don't win a lot of games shooting 36%, and that's what the Rockets are shooting tonight. The Hornets are up to 40%, and that's good. But Wesley 1 for 6. Anderson 4 for 14, although he's made 3 threes. And Yao 8 for 22 now. He was shooting very well at the half, but he's been ice cold in the second half. Over to Barry. Takes a 3. Missed it. And a rebound to the Hornets, and they're going to come out of here with a victory.
Hard to imagine. The way John Barry played in Game 1, I would think that this would have been a golden opportunity for him to continue on that roll.
Well, Clyde, this is hard to believe. I've done games for a long time, over 20 years. The Rockets have no free throws in the fourth quarter and only 5 attempts in the second half. So that means, what, lack of aggression?
Lack of aggression. If it's not falling from the outside, Bill, you have to take the ball to the basket. Force the tempo.
Tonight's Landry signature group player of the game, we're going to give it to P.J. Brown. The veteran is a career 9 points a game scorer. He has 18 points, 13 rebounds tonight, P.J.
And he's played some great defense on Yao Ming on the low block. That's really his forte, but he scored 18 points in tonight's game.
And the young Hornets, who happen to be in this division, will go to 2-1 on the young season. They've defeated Sacramento in the opening game before 19,000 in Oklahoma City, lost to Cleveland, and now have defeated Houston, so they'll go to 2-1. The Rockets will go to 1-1. The tough thing coming up for the Rockets, they'll be having to face Orlando. Then they'll have a 5-game road trip where they play Miami, New Jersey, Boston, Minnesota, and San Antonio, and quite possibly will have to do it without Tracy McGrady.
So there are some challenges ahead for the Houston Rockets.
November is a very tough month for Jeff Van Gundy's team. He'll have 4 back-to-backs this month. They'll play 15 games in November.
But that's what the NBA season is. It's a marathon, Bill. It just never ends.
Well, if you're going to have a bad run, you might as well do it in November.
And what you have to do is be able to withstand the highs and the lows of a long NBA season.
Wesley from the deep corner. Rockets cannot buy a basket. And it's going to do it. The Hornets go on a 17-2 run in the final 6 minutes to defeat the Houston Rockets 91-84. Stay tuned. After the break, we'll have the Rockets post-game report. Don't go away.
Welcome to the Rockets post-game report, 91-84 in favor of the Hornets. And Bill and Clyde, it's hard to believe that the Hornets did this to the Rockets for the 3rd time in a row. Guys, wrap this up for us.
Well, Patty, it's not hard for me to believe anymore. I've seen it happen 3 times in a row now, considering last season and the preseason and tonight. The Hornets have had it down the stretch. The Rockets haven't. Of course, not having Tracy McGrady was a big key.
That works in their favor, of course. But we had many opportunities in this game. We seemingly had taken control, 6 minutes left in the game, but we didn't execute down the stretch, Bill. We missed many great looks at the basket, just could not convert.
And, of course, the 15-2 run by the Hornets was really the killer down the stretch. I would have thought it would have been the other way around with the veteran team, but the Rockets weren't able to find anybody to step up and make a big basket.
In a game such as this, you're playing without Tracy McGrady, so you know the need to execute is of vital importance. And they got the ball into Yao Ming. Yao seemingly was a little fatigued in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and it seemed to have been the difference in the game.
Well, Yao played, 36 minutes, which is the most he has played in a long time.
And he did everything on both ends of the court. He had 7 or 8 block shots. He was all over the place and just kind of ran out of gas.
You know, the game seemed to turn in the Hornets' favor after that little altercation, after that fight. They seemed to pick and grow from that, and the Rockets seemed to back off after that.
They became a little bit more aggressive, and the Rockets, who were being very aggressive at that time, seemed to push back a little bit. And sometimes that happens. A young team that's very, they're just temperamental. On the road, anything can motivate them, and certainly that altercation seems to have worked in their favor.
Yeah, here it is again, and the Rockets had charge up until this point, and then there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and the Hornets just seemed to grow in confidence after that, and the Rockets went the other way.
The Rockets went the other way. The aggression, they didn't get many balls going to the basket, no dribble penetration, attacking the basketball. They settled for the mid-range jumpers and the long jumpers and just didn't get them to fall.
No, they didn't have a lot of time to practice with this unit now, and that's one thing they will have a couple of days now to work Derek Anderson in at the 3 spot. It looks like Tracy McGrady may miss anywhere from 3 games, maybe more, so you've just got to put that aside and see if you can win with this group.
Absolutely, Bill. They got one more game at home and a tough road stand coming up. And so I think we could really use the presence of Tracy McGrady back in the lineup.
No kid.
But if, in fact, he doesn't make it, I think other guys have got to step up, which they did not do in tonight's game.
And you got Orlando coming in, and you know there's a guy by the name of Steve Francis that would love to pin a loss on you, huh?
Oh, I know he'd like nothing better. But they're all competitive, and the key is it's a long season. This is one loss. The Rockets will be able to rebound from this, and just know that execution is of vital importance, and the ability for other players to come through in the clutch, much like John Barry did in Game 1. We need someone else to step it up.
Well, it is early in the season and a lot of basketball left, Patty, but I think what makes it so disappointing is most of the fans, including us, thought that this would be a game the Rockets could win, but they let one get away.
Once again, the final score tonight, 91-84. Join us for our next telecast Tuesday night when the Rockets host Steve Francis and the Orlando Magic. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock on FSN Houston. For Bill Worrell and Clyde Drexler, I'm Patty Smith saying good night from Toyota Center.